Well, I just want to ask you one question that how about your English journey? Like when did you start learning this language and what are the obstacles you have faced in your initial stage and how did you tackle all those abstractions?
All right. So actually, as you can by now understand, there had been no such atmosphere of English at my home. So when I was little child, whenever I used to visit the Taj Mahal because I live in Agra, and being a child, what made me curious is how these foreigners they speak English. And I used to be awestruck and wonder whether one day I would be able to speak like them or not. Second important reason is my mother is a teacher and she used to wear a lot of makeup, vibrant saris, and doing all that hairdo. So that, being a child, I was so fascinated by just looking at her that I decided, regardless of what opportunities they bring in together, okay, Mama, I want to be a teacher. And she laughed at my statement because she knew that being a teacher brings a lot of responsibilities and you have to shoulder also a lot of task and responsibility. Basically, you have to juggle between your profession and personal life. But I didn't know anything about it, and I declared one day that I am so passionate about English that I want to be an English teacher. And seriously, till class fourth or fifth, I exactly don't remember, I couldn't frame a single sentence in English without making it imperfect. So that was the standard of my English at that time. And I was educated in a convent school where if you, by mistake, if you happen to speak in English, you have to just, then you just have to deposit a certain amount as a fine. And I don't want to do that. So I have two choices. Either I should keep mum. This is the safest method. But at the end of the day, the thing is that I have to speak something and broken English, completely broken English. Because the reason was I was terrified at that time. Even I was just so passionate about learning that English is speaking language, this language with other. I was overthinking that what will happen if whatever I speak or I'm about to speak gets wrong. People will mock at me. So with the passage of time, I learned that if you want to learn any new skill, like for me, it's basically normally to speak in English. And the first thing that I thought was not thought, but I actually confirmed within my own self that I have to be confident. I have to keep that emotion of being scared or fearful at bay. Thirdly, I have to interact with people who speak or who love English just as I do. So by now, Shiv, you must have got my point that my journey was not at all very cozy and comfortable. It was full of hurdles. It was full of bumpers. But slowly and gradually, I learned how to tackle those problems. So to all those beginners here, whosoever are listening to us, I should just convey one message that be confident. This is just a skill. This is just a language. Stop overthinking. What we do is we give a particular idea or notion thought too much. We don't have to give it a thought. We have to transform that thought into action. Like if we think like that from tomorrow onwards, we will start speaking in English for sure. I have promised myself from tomorrow onwards. Why from tomorrow onwards? Why not right from here? Speak broken English. Okay. Nobody has nothing to do with your life, that's for sure. Actually, the problem is we have involved a lot of people in our own life. People, we don't know anything about them. Those people have nothing to do with our worries. Those people have nothing to do with our success because we don't know them. So we are fearful of basically of a particular crowd, right? And that's something foolish on our part. So first of all, my suggestion is to be confident. If you want to learn English, we are talking on this platform about English, then listen to podcast. Okay, I'm not saying that listen to the podcast where the speakers use basically an advanced level of English. You can listen to easy podcast. Okay, you can listen to very easy podcast. If your level is A1, no matter. You just search, you just have to type on any of the platforms, either Google, it will also give you in the text form. And if you want a video about it, you can just type on YouTube. Second important thing is never failing technique is if you want to learn seriously, if you are serious about it, you're not taking it as a joke, then go with mnemonics. Mnemonics is, have you heard Shiv about mnemonics?
No, I haven't. That's the first time hearing this word. You can tell me, what does it mean?
Mnemonics is a kind of a trick. Okay, it's a kind of a trick where a person, if he or she, anybody, if you haven't confronted, if you haven't seen or listened to that word before, then you just have to weave a story about that word. I'll give you an example, like diligent. The word is diligent. Now the spelling goes like Diligent, right? Diligent means basically hard working person. Like you are diligent, you work so hard, you have a lot on your plate, still you are managing to just keep a balance between your personal and professional life. So the word is diligent. Now you googled it, you know the meaning of diligent is hardworking. But what happens after a day or two, you tend to forget that word. The reason, first reason is you haven't practiced it in real life, right? You just googled the word, you found the meaning, and you are okay with that. Now, what is the role of mnemonics here? Let me tell you a very funny thing here. Diligent, relate the word diligent with daily. Daily. Gents mean male, all right? तो आप हिंदी में भी थोड़ा सा बोल के बताती हूँ. Diligent, दिल्ली के जो जेंट्स होते हैं वो बहुत हार्ड वर्किंग होते हैं, right? This is mnemonic. This is a trick, and this is basically a personal trick. It doesn't have any a golden rule, a thumb rule that you have to follow the same technique. You can learn at your ease. तो डेली जेंट में जैसे ही मैंने बोला डेली के जेंट्स बहुत हार्ड वर्किंग होते हैं. Now you combine all the three breakdowns और आपको मिल गया कि okay, diligent means a person who is hard working. Now you will never forget, I think so. So diligent, like you are so diligent, and I'm so happy to meet such a diligent person. I am diligent. Our parents are diligent. So you see what I have done? I have repeated the word thrice in three different sentences. So at the end of the day, I am not going to forget the word diligent in the near future. And I think forever it will be in my mind. And this is how basically mnemonics work. So I hope that you love this technique, the technique of mnemonics. You can also use it.
Yes, ma'am. I got your point. Like, we should not mug and cram the words in order to boost our terminologies. Rather, we should use these words in our day-to-day conversation with some context, and so that we can remember that word for a long period of time. So yeah, that's a really golden technique, and I feel like you are a very good teacher. And I just want to know from your side, for example, if a beginner like me and will come to you and he wants to learn English from you, so what are the steps and what are the strategies you follow to teach him English in such a way that yes, after a certain period of time, you would feel so confident about a spoken part. So what are the strategies you follow?
The first strategy is to actually basically push them to use their mobiles at the time of study, right? This is the first thing. I know that viewers will hate me for that, but this is the first thing that I basically do with myself as well. You see, now what happens that we are on this journey of learning, of mastering this language, and we have that mobile somewhere lying on the table. You get that notification, definitely you will be disturbed, right? What have you done with yourself? You have created, or you have put that distraction by yourself onto the place, right? Don't do that. Keep, first of all, the first technique is just switch off your mobile for a certain period of time. Definitely, if you don't find any word, you know the meaning, you have to Google it, but that you can note it down in your register or notebook, and later on you can Google it, right? First of all, I ask, the first tip that I give to my students personally is switch off the mobile completely. Then the second one is reading. Read as much as you can. The problem is people know this technique. See, this is one of the traditional techniques that most of the YouTubers or teachers they share with their students. Read, read, read. But they never shared what to read, when to read, and why to read. Right? So the question is when to read. You have to read a lot, because being a teacher, we both know that without reading or without studying, we can't do anything, right? But if you want to read to improve your English, first set your target. Are you studying English as a subject, or are you learning English? There is a lot of difference between these two concepts. First, you clear your mind what you want to do. Now, if you want to learn English, if you want to speak English in real life, in real time, then what you have to do is start reading. When to read? When you are about to hit the bed. Pick a good book, keep it next to your side table, right? And then you can start reading. Now, definitely at that time, your hand will start itching that you want to pick your mobile. Stop from there. Don't log into the black hole of social media. First. Second is what to read. You can pick any storybook of your choice. Don't listen to people around you that you have to only pick non-fiction novels and something which is not of your standard. Don't do that, first of all. Then secondly, you can pick novel fictions, easy one like Matilda by Roald Dahl. You can also choose Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. So these are the fictions. If even then, if you find the language of those novels tough for you, then you can select any short stories like Cinderella, Snow White, The Seven Dwarfs, Black Beauty, The Beauty and the Beast. Slowly and gradually, I watch for that. I promise you, I bet you will start falling in love with that book. And slowly and gradually, you will inculcate a good habit of reading. So decrease that screen time and increase the reading time. Still, I read a lot. Now comes the question what to read, which I have given you the answer. Read on the daily basis. You can select any newspaper, any newspaper. You can select the Times of India, the Hindustan Times, the Hindu, whatever in English language. Make it a habit of reading it on daily basis. Magic, if you want to do magic in your life, that is not going to happen overnight. As in most of the videos, I have made this statement and I claimed it, and it is true. Because if, and how much time? Not more than 50 to 20 minutes. I don't think that to take out that this much span of time is a rocket science. No. If you want to do something, you will do. Now, if you want to watch, if you wish to watch a movie, you will, because you have made up your mind. Nobody can stop you. Then how can anybody stop you from reading? That's an excuse, first of all, right? So don't pretend like you don't have so much time. You are so busy. I can't read. I don't have time. No, 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 no. It's a big no. Like if you want to do, you have to do and you must do. There is no excuse. Make it a habit of reading on the daily basis. I have to read. Okay? Read whatever. Read. See, there are so many things around you lying. You can read anything. You can read a pamphlet. You can read even what is written at the back of a simple biscuit, a packet of biscuit, bread. You can read whatever you like. You can read those hoardings, whatever is written on the hoardings when you pass by. So whatever you can try your hand. What my point is, read as much as you can. If you don't know the meaning of any particular word, just jot it down on a diary. Later on, whenever you are free, just Google it, find the word, and use it practically by framing sentences. This I basically follow religiously till date. I read because my first love is English. How to master it? If somehow if somebody says that we know everything, it is not possible. This is something which is impossible in my view. My perspective is that learning is a never ending process, and it is quite, you can say, a white lie if somebody claims that he is so knowledgeable that he knows everything. Okay, we can't. If it had been the case, then everything would become stagnant, everything would stop. If you claim that we know everything, we never. We keep on learning and learning. Whatever the source may be, the sources may be different, people may be different. Okay, if you don't want to read a particular book, forget it. Pick a book of your own choice. Don't be dependent on social media so much, because nowadays I'm noticing my students, if I give them any assignment, you know what I mean, they just use chat gpt, any AI app, and they just give me the assignment. So what are they doing basically? They are making their minds, they are making their creativity blank. And then we complain, man, when we start speaking English, our mind goes blank. So what is the reason? Find out the problem first. We run after the solutions. Find out the problems. If you found the problem first, then it will be easier for you to to find a solution. Now when the problem is clear, the solution is clear, then what's the problem? Go ahead with it. So you are the one who created the problem. So you have to be the one who find the solution. So this is my actually, this is how I proceed in my personal life. And whenever somebody asks me that what techniques, there is no particular technique. It depends. It varies from person to person. There are no actually, when people claim now these are the techniques, I don't find it very impressive, because what I feel is personally that it varies from person to person. It is not compulsory that what I like you also like. So it depends. Do whatever you want. Do whatever you want means in reference to I'm talking about in learning English. If you're comfortable at reading books, read books. If you're comfortable at watching videos, watch videos. If you're comfortable at listening to the podcast, listen to the podcast. Your target must be hit by a certain period of time decided by you. Like you have decided, okay, it will take 1 year. I will take only 1 year to hit the target. Then you have to plan accordingly. If we are sleeping, we are nodding off, we are wasting our time scrolling all the time, then forget it. So either you do or die. That is the strategy that works for me as well. And I hope that Shiv, I hope that I've given you the right answer. I mean, what do I feel personally? I have shared with that.
That's really great, and I'm totally flabbergasted at the same time, a bit overwhelmed. The way you have shared every single aspect, the question which I've asked you is totally based on something practical experience. You are not even sharing any bookish information or with us, we can easily read from somewhere. No. So the one who has covered the journey practically and the one who has faced all those hindrance and obstruction in his or her life is the only one who can explain that how she and he or tackled all those problems and how you can just overcome with these problems. So that's really great. So here I'm done with my questions. If you have anything to ask me, you can ask.